reflect those of the staff, management, ownership, or advertisers of WLAF TV 12, 1450 WLAF Radio, FM 100.9, or 1450WLAF.com.
When every second counts, count on Vital Care MedTrans. You do have a choice when it comes to ambulance service in this area. So when you call 911, ask for the best.
Wait a minute, are you Vital Care?
Yes, we are.
Good.
State-of-the-art equipment and a well-trained staff who stand ready to respond to your call. That's Vital Care MedTrans, when nothing but the best will do.
All right, thank you, Mr. Freeman. Welcome, I'm Jerry Chadwell, Straight Talk Live. Welcome to another Wednesday night show. Remember, if you have to call 911, if you need ambulance service, just ask. I thought maybe she was coming to tell us something. Just ask for Vital Care. That's all you have to do. Just ask for Vital Care. They'll send them out. John Bond. I talked to somebody that I think. These folks told me they actually took them to Florida. I don't know what the deal was. I think that's what this person told me. That for some reason they took them to, I don't know what that was all about. So, but they'll take you wherever you need to go and bring you back if you need to. But if you have to ask for 911, if you call 911, ask for Vital Care, and remember, take all your scrap down to Jacksboro Metals. Our friends down there, they're ready to pay you for your scrap. So tonight, folks, we've got an event coming up Friday night. It's called Campbell County Stands with Chattanooga Strong Memorial Celebration of Sacrifice. Okay, this is about honoring the soldiers that passed away from the shooting in Chattanooga a few weeks ago. I work in Chattanooga. Fortunately enough, I wasn't down there when all that mess happened. I was on my way home that day. But you know, going back to Chattanooga the next day, it's quite, obviously it was devastating to the town. And they've got a memorial down there on Lee Highway and one on Amnicola Highway, and those things just continue to grow. You know, so people are showing their appreciation, and the funerals that were local, they were a sight to behold. So, but Friday night at 7:30 at Jacksboro Middle School, I'm assuming on the football field, we're going to have an event, and these folks are pretty much over it, and they're going to talk about it a little bit tonight. So just hold your phone calls. Let us talk about it. First, I'm going to introduce our VA director. Is that what's VA director? Yep. Kevin Walden, retired Air Force. Sheriff Robbie Goins, and then we've got Chief Deputy Aaron Selfie Evans. This is the Selfie King of Campbell County. So I hope you can see us all. I hope you can hear us all. If you can't hear us, somebody will text me and let me know. So there's a couple of you out there that let me know that stuff. So if you can't hear us, let us know. So fellas, whoever wants to take off and talk about this and who all's going to be there and what all we're going to do, and I may ask a question or two every now and then. So first of all, I know you're going to talk about it. The possibility it might be hot. Somebody, I think Aaron, you told me somebody's going to be there passing out water.
That's correct.
So you're going to have water, folks, and I don't think there's going to be charge for it, is there? No charge for it. You're going to have water, so don't worry about bringing something to drink. There's going to be folks there passing out cold water. So. Because I know here in the summertime it could be hot, so don't worry about the water situation. You're gonna have plenty of water. So somebody asked me that, and I wanted to make that clear. So, Aaron, you want to go ahead?
I'm sure I appreciate it, Jerry. And this event got started when we went to Chattanooga the weekend after the shooting that happened on July the 16th. We had a sign made at Sandy's Custom Auto. Sandy Day made it for us free of charge and let us take it to Chattanooga, where we put it up on the memorial on Lee Highway. Sandy's a creative fellow and a brainstormer, so he thought a community event would be proper, and asked us to join him and help him with it, and that's how it got started, and we're excited about it. We think it's a good idea and a proper thing to do and an appropriate thing to do. And we're honored to do it and help Sandy and his team at Sandy's Auto. This Friday night at 7:30 at the Jacksonboro Middle School football field, we've laid out a schedule of events, and with the help of a lot of good people on this list and sitting here, we hope to memorialize these people in the proper way, and they deserve it, and it's the least we could do to show them the proper respect. Kevin will talk about some of the sponsors or the scheduled events. The Campbell County Honor Guard is going to be instrumental in this thing. We've met with them and talked with them, and they still work themselves to the bone every day, burying their brothers and their sisters. And they were all excited and jumped on board with it.
Right. I've been paying attention on Facebook. Apparently, a lot of folks jumped on board. So probably going to bring your chairs.
You can bring a chair. We hope to seat everybody in the bleachers on the football field.
I think there's going to be more people. I really do. I think there's going to, from seeing on Facebook the response I've been seeing, the bleachers will hold quite a few folks, okay? And I'm sure they don't want you having chairs out on the football field because football season is here.
Right.
You know, the middle school football, the jamboree actually starts tomorrow night. So football season is here. So you probably don't want to take your chairs and out on the football field, but I'm sure out on the track.
Sure.
Probably, because I'm thinking the response, what I'm seeing so far, I expect there to be a huge crowd. I'm figuring the bleachers will be overflowing. You know, so and everybody down there knows most everybody else. So folks, it's going to be a good time, family and friends. It's going to be a good time. You get to honor these folks. And you're going to get to see a lot of folks that's on this list of things to do that are people that you appreciate, and some folks that you really need to meet. Mm-hmm. Like if you haven't met the VA director, you know, most folks need to meet the VA director, you know, and introduce yourself to him. Kevin, you got business cards.
Yep, I'll have business cards.
Kevin has some business cards that he can hand you, because probably some of you that haven't been in to see Kevin, that are veterans, you need to go see him.
Yeah, or you can get me online, www.campbellcountyvet.com. And so you can click online, and we have a lot of things, information there to contact us with, and we look forward to seeing you. But we're in the business of, especially the honor guards that we have, the Campbell County Honor Guard. We're in the business of honoring our fallen comrades.
Right.
And last year, and every year, we usually do about 125, 130 funerals. And they've been doing this for over 20 years. And so you do the math. That's quite a few thousand of funerals that they've conducted. And it's all volunteer. They don't get paid for doing what they do. It's just in them to continue to serve. Jesus said, "I didn't come to be served, but I come to serve."
Right.
And most of the military men in the Campbell County Honor Guard, probably all of them, are real rich in their faith, and they count it an honor at any time to be a part of a program like this. General George Washington, our first president, said, "The willingness of our young people to participate in or join the military will be directly proportioned how they perceive the older generations being honored and remembered for their service." So it's a part of national security that we honor our fallen comrades, and we recognize our military and first responders, our law enforcement, as they put their lives on the line each and every day. I mean, how many names can we think of that pass away, that played basketball and played football, heroes, or even WWE wrestling? You know, when people die, they know about it. But there's men that put on a uniform and go out and patrol America putting their lives on the line. And we got first responders, firefighters, rescue, that put their lives on the line every day, and some of them die. And most of you never even hear about it. So this is just what we can do to bring awareness that we're at war, and you expect casualties to happen on the war front, but here at the home front, you just don't expect that. And so this program here is going to be all about honoring those victims, those 4 Marines and 1 sailor who lost their lives in Chattanooga recruiting office. About 14 years ago, I actually walked the halls of that recruiting office when I was in the Air Force as a recruiter. And I was stationed there for a month covering a recruiter. And so when I hear something like that happens that where I have been, it just hits a little closer to me. That could have been me 14 years ago, but times is changing drastically, and we need to be aware, and we need to honor those that put their lives in harm's way so that we can still live in freedom without any fear. And we thank our law enforcement, first responders, and all of our service members for what they do each and every day. And we're here to honor them. We're going to have the national anthem. It's going to be sung by Micah Reynolds. She's 12 years old, from Jacksboro Middle School. And she can sing. She just don't sing, she can sing. And so
We had that discussion, folks.
so anyway, she's going to bless your heart, and we're going to honor the fallen comrades from the Navy by playing the Navy song and presenting the Navy flag. And the 4 Marines, we're going to play the Marine song and show the Marine flag. And we're going to have bagpipes played by Pastor Dwayne Mills, and we're going to present a wreath. And then the Campbell County High School is going to sing.
Hold on a minute.
Yeah.
And I asked this a while ago, and I don't know if I got an answer. What does this mean, hats on the table? You're just going to ask people to take their hats off?
No,
Is there something?
what we're going to do is why Pastor Mills is going to be playing bagpipes and Amazing Grace. We are going to ceremoniously present the wreath, and behind the wreath, they're going to ceremoniously place the 2 service hats representing the fallen comrades from each of the branches of the services. So it's going to be moving, and it's going to be appropriate, and everything's going to edify, honoring these men that sacrificed their life. And we've got some drama teams that are going to be doing some programs, and we're going to have some special speakers. Pastor James Coffey from the Harbor is going to be there. Congressman Chuck Fleischman, he's going to be there. Our featured speaker is going to be U.S. Navy Lieutenant Commander Chris Stanfield. He's from the Methodist Church in La Follette, and a real sharp fella. And we're also going to have words from our Mayor, E.L. Morton, our county mayor, which is Lieutenant Colonel.
Retired Lieutenant Colonel, Army.
And,
Go Army.
And then we'll do a 21 gun salute and taps, and we'll do the folds of the flag, and we'll explain the folds of the flag as well.
Yeah.
And then Sister Rose Bruce will be singing the Amazing Grace, and her husband, Brother Delmas Bruce from Stanfield Church of God, he'll close us out in prayer.
Okay. Now I noticed we've got one here that the recognition of Law enforcement, LE, law enforcement.
Right.
I knew that word. Chad, my brother Chad tells me that, and it just slipped, because the first time I saw it, I said, what is this? And he said, law enforcement, it's that simple, you know? And then first responders, and you mentioned, you know, they put their life on the line.
Right.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Guy in Memphis goes up a traffic stop, simple traffic stop, loses his life, simple traffic stop. I don't know what the stop was all about, and it doesn't matter anymore, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, these guys, these two, all the ones they work with, and the officers, and they deserve to be recognized, and this says we're gonna have a recognition for them.
Yeah, we're gonna actually mention Detective Sterry.
Okay.
Who lost his life.
Yeah, Mike,
so-
yeah.
So we want to honor him for his service as well.
Right.
You know, there was an officer that got shot in Chattanooga, Deer
Yes, there was, yeah.
Thankfully, he made it through.
He did, and he, if I remember right, I saw something in Chattanooga the other day. I think he's out of the hospital now. And I think I read something, it's gonna be a long recovery, but at least he's out of the hospital, you know, so. I wonder how the GoFundMe account, I know somebody said the GoFundMe account, they were trying to raise $20,000 to cover some of the expenses associated with it, and I think it met the goal pretty quick, you know. That's one thing about Americans, folks, you know, we're in a time of strife. Kevin said even in our shores amongst ourselves, we're in a time of war. But you see how these folks, other folks like them, when you got a situation like this, they step up.
Come together.
They step up. You know, they say, hey, enough. We got to do something right. We got to honor these people. We got to do something right. We got to have a time of healing. We got to have a time of fellowship. You know, this is a time of fellowship for anybody that wants to come. It don't matter if you're a millionaire or you're dirt poor. You know, there's no classes in this,
No.
okay? Come out to this. It's all free. There's nothing, you know, and as far as I know, there's not anything there that anybody's gonna be selling. The water's free. You know, we went down to the National Night Out last night. Some of you folks that did some of that flavored ice, come down there Friday night. Some of that stuff was good. Some of that flavored ice, come down there Friday night. I'll set you up myself if I have to. I want some of that. So, but Sheriff, looks like you're going to be opening this thing up. Okay, so you're going to be welcoming folks and all that, and then it looks like you're going to turn it over to Sandy.
No,
No, or you're just going to welcome Sandy.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, Sandy has just been really instrumental in a lot of things we do.
Right, I
And
understand.
he's
Yeah.
always there.
Right.
And, you know, he and his family have always taken care of us, and they give to the county. And, you know, he helped Aaron, you know, and it speaks volumes for the guys that work for me that would
Right.
go down and do what they did. And then,
Let's see about this, okay? I'm gonna take this call, I'm gonna tell you this, okay? We're not talking about anything other than this event. If you're gonna if you wanna call, we'll take your call. But if you're gonna talk about anything other than this event, I'm gonna cut you off, and you're welcome to call back later on in the show. Well, sorry. Okay. So, yeah, you're welcome to call. If you want to talk to these guys and ask them a question about this event, only this event, we're not talking about anything else right now, okay? This is just too important. It's too important to me, is why I asked them guys. You know, some of you may know, you don't know. I'm a veteran. I'm an Army veteran. I'm an old tank driver. I appreciate this thing. As soon as I saw it, I contacted Aaron and said, hey, I'd like to have you on the show. So let's talk about this thing, get as much publicity out as we possibly can about this. I'm certainly intending this thing. I've got me a good lawn chair, and I'll have me plenty of water to drink, and I'll sit back and relax. And I hope some of you that watch the show will come up and introduce yourself to me, because I don't know most of you, you know. But I enjoyed last night. I had 4 people come up to me. I had no idea who they were. They say they watched the show, and I appreciate that. I appreciate folks that don't bother me a bit. Come up and talk to me. You know, so just I appreciate that. And these guys appreciate, you know, a handshake. Say, you know, thank you for what you do, you know, and all that. You know, so and you know, you can't give them enough appreciation for what they do. You know, because I even you know. Kevin's job, Robbie's job, and Aaron's job, it's not 8 to 5.
No.
It's not 8 to 5. There's no such thing as 8 to 5 on their job. You never know when a veteran's gonna call Kevin and say, hey, you know, and most times Kevin's probably, you gotta tell them to come by the office about the only way you can help them. But they may call him 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night, and we have to discuss some issues.
Yeah.
You know, and I know I've talked to Robbie and Aaron, you know, that phone may ring at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and they gotta get up and go. So, you know, it's nice for you folks to just say, hey, stick out your hand, say thank you. It's that simple, you know? And because they can both tell you, they're not gonna tell you, but I'll tell you, they get enough criticism. There's plenty of criticism. I hear it on the show all the time, you know? I hear about people getting beat up at the jail all the time. There ain't none of that happening, but I hear about it all the time. So, but anyway, anything else we want to talk about? Oh, one thing I asked Aaron about to talk about is, and Kevin, I'm gonna leave you out of this one. Schools are opening up, okay? What, tomorrow? Friday. Friday's the first day. The teachers have already been to an in-service or going to an in-service.
Tomorrow to Friday's registration from
So some kids are going Friday.
first full day
Okay.
Monday.
First full day of the school is Monday, okay? Folks, school zones, slow them cars down.
Oh, yeah.
Slow them cars down in school zones. Even though those lights ain't flashing, except for the time, you know, the lights are gonna be flashing at the time they're going in and the time they're coming out at the end of the day. Slow them cars down even during the day. You know, don't be flying through there because you never know, you know, especially around the elementary schools. Because I promise you, we've all been kids. Them kids ain't looking for you. And one of them might get out early or something, and he ain't looking for you coming down that road. You got to be looking for that kid, okay? And, you know, they know the statistics. They've seen it. They have to answer the call when some kids got hit or somebody's cars ran the school bus.
Or our officers, you know, we're out there directing traffic and
Yeah.
it's like weekly we get our officers come in and say, hey, I got brushed with a car today.
Oh, wow.
Hit with a mirror and, it just pay attention. Like you say, keep your speed down. That speed is there for a reason.
It's there for a reason. And folks, it just, if you hit one of these officers, you hit one of these children, you can't take that back. You cannot take that back, you know. So, you know, I'm sure if your child was out there, you would want that other person to slow down. So slow down in them school zones. It's that simple, you know. I'm sure there'll be some tickets passed out because some of you are not going to pay attention to that, okay? If people fuss about getting tickets all the time, I've always got the same answer. Don't do the crime if you don't want the ticket. It's that simple. I love these people who say, I'm against red lights, the camera, red lights. And I say all the time, if you don't want a ticket, don't run the red light. It's that simple, you know? So, but Friday night, let's come together. Friday night, let's have, I wonder how many people that stadium holds? About 3,000, 2,500, 3,000?
With the middle school,
The middle school? Not that many?
probably not that many.
Probably not that many. Let's try to get 2,000 or 3,000 people down there, folks. Again, this is just gonna be a wonderful time of fellowship. Probably get there a little early, visit with everybody. After the thing's over with, I'm sure these fellows are gonna stay around as long as somebody wants to talk to them. They're not gonna run off. Somebody asked me, does any of you know, Kevin, do you know, somebody asked me, was General Steiner gonna be there?
I don't know.
Don't know.
We're gonna reach out to him.
Okay, somebody asked me that Monday if General Steiner was going to be there. Well, as a matter of fact, it was Judge McAfee asked me. I talked to Judge McAfee Monday, and Judge McAfee asked me. I called John and asked him, Judge McAfee, asked him if he, you know, told him about it and asked him to come, and he said he's going to try to make it. So you know, might want to recognize him if he's there, you know, and. He asked me if General Steiner was coming. You know, Judge McAfee has a great respect for General Steiner. And Judge McAfee, and he retired colonel, lieutenant colonel.
I think so.
Retired lieutenant colonel from I think from
He was
the
in a JAG in the Navy, I believe.
Was it the Navy he was in? No, well, we won't hold that against him.
For sure.
We won't hold that against him, but he was, Judge McAfee is a well-accomplished military person himself. So, but I think he's gonna come. So, but just, get on down there, folks. This is gonna be great. Aaron will have his selfie stick, I'm sure.
Well,
Okay, you got to get on Aaron's Facebook page and you see this stuff, folks. Robbie, it gets nuts, don't it, Robbie?
You know who he's talked to.
You know who he's, you know what's going on in Aaron's life, because since he's got that selfie stick, it's all there. It's
probably everywhere.
it's all there, and they do go all kinds of places. So get on down there Friday. They don't want any money. Nobody's going to be asking for any money. Okay, this is just a good time honoring these 5 fellas.
If people want to bring cards or posters or something that they want us to take to the memorial, we're going to have bins there. We can drop it off.
Oh, okay. So if you want to bring a teddy bear or
Card, a note, whatever they
Are you
want.
are we having a banner to sign?
Yes.
there's going to be, what is 20-foot banner?
Sandy's making a 20 foot by 4 foot banner for the public to sign.
Okay.
People are, and we'll deliver it to the memorial in Chattanooga when this is over, sometime the following week.
Once the event's over, and if you want a card, folks, if you want to see, did you post any pictures besides that, the one that you posted on the sign that you all put? Did you? Because I posted about 60 pictures.
Yeah, we put up some.
You put up some pictures. If you want to see the memorial on Lee Highway, go to the Campbell County Arrest Facebook page. I put up about 60 pictures on 2 different posts on that. And you can see, and this was 2 weeks ago, and this thing's grown since then. This was the pictures I put up 2 weeks ago, and it was just amazing then. There's some American flags everywhere, red, white, and blue, everything, Marine stuff everywhere, Navy stuff. Now, Kevin, maybe you can tell me, somebody told me that recently people have been leaving coins. Do you know what the significance? I've never been able to find out what the significance of that is. They've been leaving coins, and that there's supposed to be some kind of symbolism with that. Maybe we can find out.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Okay.
The only coins I know about is, the unit coins, that if you were associated with a certain
Okay.
unit, every unit has their own coin.
Okay.
And even the Campbell County Honor Guard has their own coin.
Do they have their own?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's just a membership thing.
Okay.
From
But
what
there's been folks been leaving coins, and whether they leave a dime, a nickel, a quarter, or whatever, if you go to the memorial down at Chattanooga, wherever you see something for a different section that's set out, they'll always have 5. If it's 5 crosses, or 5 bears, or 5 hats, there's some really neat stuff. Some people have come up with some really neat stuff that they've made up and put down there, but there's 5 of each, and they're putting coins. There might be 5 quarters, and there might be 5 dimes or something. And I'm not sure what the significance is of that, the symbolism. I thought maybe because I hadn't heard what that was. I just know they've started doing that recently.
Yeah.
You know what's unbelievable is how close this is home.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's just right down the road.
It's right down the road. It's the day it happened. I had no idea what was going on, and I was coming home. And the interstates, there were police officers blocking all of the, I thought maybe the president was coming. I called Aaron, and I figured Aaron would know what's going on, because I had no idea. And then Aaron told me what had happened in Chattanooga, because although I worked there, I had already left about an hour before that happened. And I had no idea, but I saw all these officers, and I knew Aaron would know. And he told me what happened, because first thing I said is, I didn't hear that President Obama's coming, because trust me, if you've ever seen the presidential motorcade, everything shuts down. I don't care what road it is, it shuts down when the presidential motorcade comes through. And that's the first thing I thought, but you usually know that that's going to happen. And then Aaron told me what happened, and so I called my office, and my office was actually on lockdown in Chattanooga, until they heard that this guy had been disposed of. I don't know what's the proper word to say. He'd been killed, so And I don't know, to me, that was the proper thing to do with him. You know, so we don't have to deal with him for 40 years in the court system. So, you know, that's just, that's a Christian person, I guess I shouldn't say that, but in times of war, that's what you do. You dispose of your enemy. There's battles in the Bible, and that's what you did. You disposed of your enemy. Is that right? There's all kinds of wars in the Bible.
Yeah.
Samson slew, what, 10,000 of them with a jawbone?
Yeah.
Or 3,000?
A bunch of them.
It was a bunch. So them officers in Chattanooga did the right thing and got rid of one.
You know, if anybody wants to call family members, that this is not just Campbell County folks, so
Right.
if anybody wants to come from Anderson County, if you know somebody that lives in wherever, they're welcome to come. It's not just for people from Campbell County.
Yeah, this is something, hopefully, you know, Scott County folks will come, Claiborne County.
Everyone's welcome.
Anybody that wants to come, you know, somebody will make you welcome, you know. And again, this is not, we're not elevating anybody over anybody else. This is about everybody. You talk about inclusion, and this country's been talking about inclusion a lot lately. Everybody's included in this. Everybody. Nobody's left out. So come down here to this thing. And fellas, is that about it? We got anything else?
That's been.
Is that it? Okay. Well, I appreciate y'all coming. I'm gonna have an election. We're gonna have an election in Carroll here in a few minutes. Let me get these fellas on the road, and I'll get reset up, and we're gonna have a Carroll mayor's election here in a few minutes. So we'll be there Friday.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you, fellas. I appreciate you coming. I didn't pay them nothing to come. They didn't pay me nothing to come. Aaron could have brought me a donut, but he didn't.
We're out eating them all this morning.
So we'll be there. Kevin,
Yeah.
see if we can't find me a hat. I'd love to have a
All
hat.
right, I'll do it.
If you can figure out how I can order one. Or Pope. I want that red diamond. I gotta have one. Oh. Okay. Here we are. Now. Let me try to get my stuff ready here. We got plenty of time. Okay, you folks in Carroll, or I don't care where you're from, if you want to participate in the Carroll mayor's election, we got a call here. You're on the air.
And let's go ahead and get fired out of the senior citizens, you know?
How do you what?
Get fired out of the senior citizens.
Get thrown out of the senior citizens?
Yeah.
I've had a lot of discussion with folks on that in the last few days. And I guess from what I understand, you go down there and you just make a total nuisance of yourself. That's about how you get thrown out. Are you there? So, okay, we're gonna do a Carroll mayor's election. Okay. I hope we can get some participation. I've got two candidates. I've got Mayor Stanley. I assume he's going to run. Okay. And then I haven't talked to her lately. I've told her she needs to run, and a lot of people have told her she needs to run, and a lot of folks have said she'll get elected if she runs. She's certainly, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna go ahead and put 2 votes down. Now, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna put 3 votes down, because I've got 3 votes in my household that will vote for Vicki Heatherly if she runs for mayor. So we're gonna start it out, Vicki Heatherly's already got 3 votes. So, Chris Stanley, the current mayor, and Vicki Heatherly are your 2 options. So give me some calls. Let's ring this thing up. See if anybody's interested in who's going to run for mayor in Carroll next year. And then we'll move on. So, I don't want to be the only one voting. Now, I know some of you out there, so I've had several of you ask me when we're gonna do this. So I need some participation here.
We'll have to tell them.
You're on the air.
3 votes for Jerry Cadwell.
Now, that ain't gonna happen. So who's, we've went down that road, it don't work. So who, we got Chris Stanley and Vicky Heatherly. Huh?
Vicky Heatherly.
Vicky Heatherly, okay, I'm gonna put you down for 3.
I want you to reconsider running though.
I think, I've already seen that I can't get elected down there. I'd love to, I would.
Yes, you might couldn't answer it because you're more well known.
Well, I thought I was well known last time and it didn't happen. So,
Yeah.
my problem is, and you know this as well as I do, my problem is I'm a Republican. And that just don't work in Carroll.
All the Republicans are gaining ground though.
Yeah, so, well, I've got her, I'm gonna throw my support, and I don't care to tell anybody. If Vicky runs, I'm gonna throw my support that way.
Well, you have a good one.
Thank you.
3 votes for Vicky then.
I got it. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
So, what you doing, fellas?
We're leaving.
Oh, if you got something you want to talk about, we can bring you back in. Huh? I ain't got no selfie yet. Aaron don't put me on this. I ain't been on one of them yet.
2 for Vicky.
2 for Vicky? Okay, I'm messing with the sheriff and the chief deputy out here.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay. Give me a few more votes. Yeah, Aaron, he don't ever put me on selfies. Come on over here, let's take a selfie, Aaron.
We'll do it right here.
You're on the air. I can't come up.
Jerry.
Yes,
We couldn't vote for her.
okay,
I sure would get out and campaign for her.
okay.
Look up here.
I think she'd be a good one, don't you?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Thank you, ma'am.
She throws her hat in the ring.
Yeah,
I want her to let me know.
yeah, well, she won't have to let you know, I'll let you know.
You let me know.
I promise you, if she throws her hat in the ring, I will let you know.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So, we finally got me a selfie with Aaron Evans. You're on the air.
Yeah, Chris Stanley, man.
Chris Stanley?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, buddy. Okay. Give me a few more votes, folks, and then we'll move on to another subject. I'd like to have about 10 more votes. Now, I know there's more of you in Carroll watching than that. You're on the air.
I would like Christina. Fathers for Christina. Chris Stanley, please.
You what? Now what? The vote for Chris Stanley?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Okay, well, this one ain't going too well. So, let me see. You're on the air?
Jerry,
Yes.
we're not terrible, but if we was, it'd be 3 votes for Vicky Headley.
Okay, well, we had, I can tell you this, last week, I did the one for City of La Follette,
Right.
and, Mike Stanfield overwhelmingly won that. but I know about 10 of the votes were for people that I know that don't live in the city. So, this is just a hypothetical thing.
Yeah,
So we're just doing the best we can, trying to get a feel of what people want.
yeah, well, like I said, it would be Vicky.
Okay, I got you down.
All right, buddy,
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay, so give me a couple more calls and we'll call this off. And just 2 more calls and we'll call this off. Because it's pretty overwhelming already, what the way this thing would go. If the election were tomorrow, it's pretty overwhelming. And we've had some good response on some of these. And last week in the city of La Follette, we had some really good response. And the surprise there was Bob Fannin. And I don't think Bob will run. I haven't asked him. You're on the air?
Yes, Vicky Heatherly, please.
Okay, one. How many, you got 1 vote in your house, or how many votes you got?
I've got one, and I have tried to get this number since y'all started, and I can't get it until just now.
What do you mean you can't get it?
But it would ring, 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 and nobody would answer.
Well, now, on one of the numbers, I think the 566-1450, they also have a 562
Right.
145. Well, no, the 562 number, nobody, I don't think anybody answers it while the show's going on.
Okay, and I tried the 3557 and the 566-1450.
Okay. Well, I apologize. I try to get to them as quick as I can, but when somebody's talking, I try to be fair to them and let them make their point. Sometimes I let them go too far, but so.
Yeah, put me down for Vicky Heatherly.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate you watching the show. So, hey, it's like I said earlier, last night at the National Night Out, I had several people that I didn't have a clue who some of them are, come up and shook my hand and say, hey, we love your show, we watch your show, we don't miss it. I had a lady today that said to her husband, he's physically unable sometimes to go to church on Wednesday night, and she said when she gets home from church, he's sitting there watching the show. I appreciate you. She knows who I am. Tell him I appreciate him watching the show. I try to bring you credible information all the time. Give me 1 more voter. I want 1 more voter, and I'm gonna call this thing off. And then I've got something I'm gonna talk about. And then I may cut out a little early because I'm not feeling well tonight. So, but give me 1 more voter. I'm gonna wait till I get 1 more voter on this thing, then I'm gonna cut it off. You're on the air.
Vicky Heatherly, please.
Okay, there you go. That took me to 15, and that's what I wanted to get to. Thank you, ma'am. So we're gonna call this thing off, and Vicky Heatherly got 15 votes. Chris Stanley got 2. Okay, and I honestly think that if the election comes up in next November, so what 15 months from now, if she runs, I think that's the way it'll be. I really do. I think that's, at least I hope that's the way it'll be, and I do believe that's the way it'll be. So we're gonna go with 15 votes for Vicky, 2 votes for Chris Stanley, terrible mayor. So, let's talk about the tax increase for just a minute. I read an article, I did not get to go to the meeting, but I read an article where the budget committee, I guess the Finance and Budget Committee, whatever it's called, voted, and it's not set in stone, they just voted to make the recommendation to set the new tax rate at $2.48, okay? That's a 49-cent tax increase, is my understanding, a 49-cent increase over what it was before. But there was one caveat to that, is that they're going to try to get a referendum on the ballot, I think at the same time as the presidential primary here in Tennessee. In this county, they're going to try to get a referendum on the ballot for a 1/2 cent sales tax increase, okay? That's been put on there twice before. I voted for it both times, okay? What you folks need to understand well, let me go back to this before I move on. On this caveat, it says that if this 1/2 cent tax increase passes, then I think 10 cents, 8, 9, or 10 cents on the property tax increase will come off. Okay? They'll take that back off, and that's part of course, they'll have to vote again to do that. They can't just say, well, this is the rate, and if this passes, it automatically goes back down. You can't do that, okay? You can have a gentleman's agreement in the resolution saying, we're gonna have another vote, we're gonna take it back down, okay? My understanding is the tax rate, other than when the state sets the appraisal fees and the tax rate automatically resets itself, that's the only time, is my understanding, that the tax rate resets itself. Let me see what we got here. You're on the air.
What Jim Slusher said about what did Jim Slusher say about that $2.49 tax rate?
What did he say about it?
Yeah,
He's not for it, I can tell you that.
I didn't think he was.
No, he's not. No, he's not for it at all.
Are you for it?
I am actually.
And Jim's not?
Jim is not. We disagree on this one.
Yeah.
But you know what? We're still good friends. We're still buddies. We disagree. I am actually for this. If I were on the commission, I would vote for it. But Jim absolutely would not. There's no way he would.
Yeah, that's what I want to know, Jerry.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah, me and Jim disagree on this. But you know what? That don't deter the fact that we're good friends and we're going to remain good friends. We just disagree on this issue. Now, I do agree that if that 1/2 cent tax increase passes, the sales tax increase passes, let's back the property tax off, okay? And I agree with that, okay? And what you folks need to understand, for the most part, on this 1/2 cent sales tax increase, you're never gonna notice it, folks. Most of you are never gonna notice it at all, okay? You just won't. And who it's gonna get is those visitors, those tourists and all coming in here spending their dollars here. They're gonna spend a little extra, okay? And we're gonna start getting a little more from them. You're on the air.
Hey, Jerry,
Hey, buddy.
whenever you're talking about this tax, but first of all, let me ask you a question. Why is it that you are for a tax increase?
Well, just because I think, we've bare minimum this thing, as one commissioner asked at the meeting the other day that I was at. We've maintenance of effort of this thing for 12 out of the last 13 years, okay? Do you realize that the sheriff is operating on the same money that he operated on 12 years ago, okay? Prices have gone up. Things have gone up. Inflation has gone up. Now, I wish that they'd have done, each year has gone by, maybe they'd have done 2 cents, 3 cents and all that. Nobody would have ever noticed that, okay? It wouldn't have hurt your pocketbook as much. You wouldn't have noticed that, okay? It would have been the proper thing to do. But it didn't happen that way. They made this of effort to this thing because they was afraid they wouldn't get reelected if they did any tax increase at all. They was afraid they wouldn't get reelected, so they didn't raise taxes.
Let's look, first of all, let's look at something right here.
Okay?
Now, you say, what we're doing, we don't look at the bottom line of things. In other words, whenever you say the sheriff's department, okay, are you saying that they receive exactly the same money? I'm talking about the figure that they receive is exactly the same as it was 12 years ago?
It's my understanding the percentage is the same.
Well, okay, now, so you changed this thing. When you say percentage.
Yeah.
Now, let me go back. Now,
There's been no increase whatsoever.
in the percentage, but that doesn't mean, you're not saying that the county sheriff's department, the road department, or any other department in this county is operating on the same amount of money. You're talking about the same percentage.
I'll have to check and find out. I don't know the answer to that.
Well, common sense tells us that you cannot, that we could be, the sheriff's department or the highway department could not be operating on the same dollars, the same percentages they make. But if you go back and look at the number of arrests that's in the paper every week, each of these arrests represents money coming to the sheriff's department and to the entire legal system in this county. Every time there's a ticket, wrote a citation, everything, and you discovered this too in the ATV.
Where them fees go.
I'm sorry, that's correct. What we're saying here, we're saying two different things. Now, like the county,
Now, I don't think any of that money goes to the sheriff's department, does it?
I'm not sure, but you cannot say that the sheriff's department is working on exactly the same amount of dollars that they did 12 years ago.
I'll find out.
Okay, that's good. Now let me show you another thing. On the highway department is receiving their monies, the largest percentage through the gasoline tax. Am I correct?
I think that's right.
Okay. Now, all these things that we talk about, let's go back and say the sales tax. Now, when you put this sales tax increase on, it has to be done by vote. The citizens has to vote this in.
They have to.
Okay,
Yeah.
once they voted in, that's it.
You're right.
That's it. Now, with the,
And one thing that needs to be pointed out,
I'm sorry,
one thing that needs to be pointed out, if you add this half cent that's gonna be on the referendum, state law does not allow for any more whatsoever. That's as high as it can go.
well, it can't even go up that without the citizens vote for it.
Well, that's what I said, if they voted in.
That's right.
But they can't come back and say, well, in 2 years, we wanna see if you'll vote in another half cent. You can't do that. If you vote this half cent in, it cannot go any higher. According,
You're missing my whole point.
okay, I just wanted to make that point.
I haven't been able to make my point yet.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, now, in order for the state to raise that sales tax, or for the county to raise it, that half percent, the citizens has to vote on it. But the county commission, I read the article in the paper, and the way they stated it, they did not state that the property tax would be dropped. They said it may be dropped. Now, the county, the way the state's set up, whatever, the county can work the property tax up and down. They can work it up and down without having a referendum or anything. But this sales tax, they can't do that.
That's right.
Okay, now, the county, and I don't know who, whenever we say county, we're talking about the county commission, and anyone else, they can jack that thing back up. They do not have to reimburse or nothing else. That is BS. Once they get that money in their pocket, or in their budget, it's not going to change.
Now, who said anything about reimbursing?
Well, okay, I ain't saying reimbursement. I'm saying the county, the way they word this, and there's no binding nothing on it. Once they set the
Yeah, like I said, it's a gentleman's agreement.
oh my goodness, thank you. Well, I do appreciate your time.
Is that right? I said a gentleman's agreement.
Sir, do you know? Can you tell me what a gentleman's agreement means or what it's worth?
And well, it's not worth anything if you're not somebody that can keep to your word. If you're somebody that can keep to your word, it's worth a lot.
I rest my case.
I'm looking right here, okay?
Okay.
I'm looking on WLAF, and it says right here, Higginbotham, a motion by Higginbotham to set the tax rate at $2.48 with the condition that if a proposed sales tax referendum passes next spring, the property tax rate would, not might, not may, the article right here says would be rolled back to $2.40.
Okay, now the article I read,
Okay,
Christian Journal,
okay,
and it did not say would.
okay.
It said it may.
I'm reading the one on WLAF's website, and that's what it says.
Okay, I was reading mine.
I did not see the one you're reading. I didn't see that one.
I read mine in the Christian Journal.
Okay,
Anyhow, whenever we go to discussing these things, we don't need to put a pin on it saying that all these departments in this county is working on the exact same number of dollars, because like with the highway department, the more fuel that's sold, the more money that comes into to the road department.
Okay, would you agree to this?
Go ahead.
Would you agree to the statement? Let's say they've all been voted the maintenance of effort for some time, okay? Now, my understanding that there's a possibility, and I don't know this for certain, the maintenance of effort does account for a certain percentage tax increase, or a percentage of dollars, but if you don't have a tax increase, how do you pay for those dollars? So, the years that they didn't have a tax increase, they couldn't give them any more money. They had to operate on the same money because there wasn't any extra money, okay? So if they're the years that weren't a tax increase, but let's say what you're saying, they did get a percentage just because of natural inflation. Have they kept up with the inflation rate with the taxes in this county for the last 12 years?
I'm not sure I can answer that.
The answer is no.
I'm not hearing exactly everything you're saying. I'm
Yeah.
just listening to you by the phone.
Okay, what I'm saying is, what inflation rate's been, 3-4% some years, 2% some other years, and so, so inflation rate's going up and up and up and up, okay? Has the money supplied by the county commission to the sheriff's department, to the finance department, to the road department, to the property assessor's office, to all those departments, has it kept up with the inflation rate? The answer to that is obviously no.
Okay, but let's I'm taking a lot of your time here, but let's check into this if you could.
Yeah.
And see how many different sources of revenue in each department, let's say the sheriff's department and the highway department and whatever else.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll try to get, see if this will answer your question.
Okay,
I'll get a hold of Finance Director Marlowe, and I'll ask him to try to give me a printout for the last 12 years, how much money, and by dollars, not by percentage,
right.
for the last 12 years, how much money was budgeted to the sheriff's department.
Okay, now here's where we get into trouble. Okay, I don't know exactly how to state this, but because the sheriff's department is entitled to every piece of contraband that they capture. Is that correct?
But that's not made part of the budget.
No, but that goes directly to the.
That does, and generally that goes to the drug fund. If it's a drug arrest, it goes to the drug fund, and that's all they can use it for. They can't use it for anything else.
Okay, but anyhow, it would be interesting to see all the sources of income that goes into each department, be that the highway department or, any of the departments. They're not getting a source of income just straight from the general fund. A lot of them are getting other sources of income. I've took a lot of your time. I appreciate it, and maybe you'll get another call on it or something.
Okay, thank you, buddy.
Thanks, sir.
Okay. I tried to understand what Mr. Henson was saying, and hopefully he was understanding what I was saying. Sometimes we don't agree on that, but again, hey, we can still be buddies, we can still be friends, even though we don't agree, and we can have good civil debate right here, and I appreciate that. That's what I appreciate. It works out really good if we can have civil debate, and I always have good civil debate with Mr. Henson. He never loses his temper. I try not to lose mine. Sometimes it don't work out. But I appreciate the debate, when we have the debate, okay? I'm one that, and maybe you folks disagree with me, and if you do, I welcome you to call me. I'm one that just feels like if we can put some money into the roads and put some more money into the school, that's gonna be one way we start to make this county better. It's a long ride to make this county better. We gotta improve education, we gotta improve roads. If we don't improve those things, we've got a great sheriff's department, folks. When out-of-town businesses come looking in here, they want to know how good your sheriff's department. We got a great sheriff's department, okay? I talked to Amanda Salmons, the judge. I talked to her last night. I want to make this point real quick, okay? I asked her about some of the bonds she's been setting. She's been setting some really heavy bonds, okay? She said these people who are violent offenders, they come in time after time, it's going to cost them a lot of money to get out of jail. How much time we got, Honeybee?
About 40 seconds.
About 40 seconds. I talked to Chief of Police in Jacksboro, and we were talking about Judge Salmons and the jobs he's doing, and he told me this, folks. He looked me in the eye and told me, he said, since she has become the judge, crime and theft at Walmart has gone down, 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 okay? Criminals don't want to see Judge Samuels. It's a fact. When you got people out there scared of the judge, that's a good thing. So, folks, I appreciate you. We'll see you next week.
When every second counts, count on